Hey everyone, it's Schweitz with schweitzaudio here with a plug-in demonstration video. Today we're going to change it up, not do an EQ or compressor, but we're going to look at Universal Audio's AKG BX-20 spring reverb. I remember vividly when this thing came out. This thing is amazing. The ring out on this Verb, which I will show you, is just so pure and dark and creamy. It is like having one with you. It just brings alive sounds, and we're going to take a listen to it here in a second, but let's kind of go over what this is about. So you can change the input here between mono and stereo. I'm running it in a stereo configuration. You can choose whether to have it be a direct signal or not a direct signal. This would help when you're using it on a bus. If you're including a direct signal, you know what I mean, you're going to have a flamming issue. You're going to have two source materials going at the same time. So you don't want to have that in when you're running it on a bus. But if you put it directly on a track, you could then dial in the mix and figure out exactly how you wanted it to sound. Here you can select between the tanks. All these things came with an A and a B tank, and U Audio decided to give you this A and B tank together. It improves the stereo field of the tanks, and it really is quite nice. We have our traditional low cut here. Take out the low rumbles. Some basic EQs. These were borrowed from the BX-10. I love tweaking my EQs on the Verb here. I'm adding just a little bit of high end to give me a little bit of air. We have the wet solo down, so we're getting a full wet signal. So this is a dry wet knob, but it doesn't do us any good in this configuration. And then here we have the pre-delay, and as you remember, the pre-delay is the amount of delay before the Verb starts to sing out, and you can change it between 0 and 250 milliseconds. And down here, you can choose your decay time in seconds. This just links them, both these knobs together, so you could do independent, one knob on each side, do a little bit longer, a little bit shorter on one side. You can change the volume. Channel 1, channel 2 would be A, B, etc., left, right. And then you can change the amount of pan that you're going to get between the two tanks and the stereo return, which is always nice. I always run it in full stereo, but that could give you some interesting technique and textures. If you were running a little more mono, you could maybe do some sound crafting that way. I think I've gone over this enough. Let's give this thing a listen. This is our buddy Cole Cash Black letting us use his song again. It's a guitar part we've heard before, but I wanted you to hear it with the spring Verb. I'm going to start with the Verb on. I'm going to mute it. There is a little bit of Verb on this track, and I'm using this spring to fill in what that Verb isn't doing and to kind of bring it to life, and you're going to hear it do that. As you can see, it just kind of brings alive and lifts this track up when this spring is in there. It gives us a little bit of depth and texture, and just kind of that Verb that was on there was a nice Verb, but we needed to liven it up and make it become a part of what this mix was originally. And this thing really does that nice. Now I'm going to do a couple start and stops, and I'm going to turn the delay up here to 3 seconds, the tail of the Verb, and I want you to hear how this thing rings out, because it's really special to have a digital Verb ring out like this one does. Listen to how long that goes out for and how pure that tone is. You don't hear it start to do any digital dithering or kind of comb filtering or any kind of weird things that digital delays do. Listen to that again. I mean, it's just such a pretty tone, and it's thick on there all over our guitar sound, but it doesn't get in the way. It's just kind of light and sings there in the background, and it's just, I have to say, I really love this a lot. I remember when it came out, I was mixing a song with a flute, and I just couldn't believe that ring out and how it just made that flute sit right in the mix. It's just, I really feel like verbs are a hard one to get digitally, and there's a few companies out there that do it really well. I think UA has done it well. We're going to look at some of their other reverb plugins, and we're going to look at our pals over at Liquid Sonics, their Seventh Heaven, which is their Bracasti IR that I love a lot as well, and we're going to do that. But if you haven't checked out this BX-20, I highly recommend it. You can hear it for yourself how good it sounds, and I just can't say enough good things about it. This will be a verb that you'll use all the time. It's just really great. As always, please subscribe to my channel, make comments, tell me what you want to see. Go to my website, schweitzaudio.com, sign up for our email list, and happy recording. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you real soon.